Well, for those just listening to the radio and not able to watch right now, Bryan has switched to a lovely sounding banjo from the mandolin, and Mark Schatz has put down the bass, and he's back on his dance board to give us a little number.
Back on his feet once more, and other body parts involved in this.
Oh, okay. Perhaps a little ham boning and such.
I'm glad you said that because for the live stream, it's obvious, but for the radio, when you hear that slapping around, that's me slapping myself silly.
Okay, all right. Any other setup for teeing off this next piece here?
This is Arvel Freeman was my wonderful fiddle teacher, as well as a teacher to so many other good fiddlers from around this area: Rhiannon Ramsey, Danielle Bishop, and Branson Rains, and also Don Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
With the Sons of Ralph. Anyway, Arvel used to teach me a lot he had huge respect for Arthur Smith, and that was passed on to me, as well as other great kind of first-generation fiddlers. And this is an Arthur Smith tune. Maybe some folks will be more familiar with it from the Flatt and Scruggs version, and we'll do something between those two versions, I guess.
We ready?
I'm ready, Hezzy.
All righty.
Now the girl I love don't pay me no mind. The girl I love don't pay me no mind. Well, sweetheart divine, put your little hand in mine. The girl I love don't pay me no mind. And the girl I love's from sunny Tennessee. The girl I love's from sunny Tennessee. From sunny Tennessee, pay no never mind to me. The girl I love's from sunny Tennessee. And the girl I love don't pay me no mind. The girl I love don't pay me no mind. Well, sweetheart divine, put your little hand in mine. The girl I love don't pay me no mind. And the girl I love, she done and left this town.
Why'd you do that, Bryan?
The girl I love, she done and left this town. No idea. She done and left this town. She's Alabama bound. The girl I love, she done and left this town. And the girl I love don't pay me no mind. The girl I love don't pay me no mind. Sweetheart divine, put your little hand in mine. The girl I love don't pay me no mind.
Play that fretless banjo, Bryan.
And now I think she's sorry what she's done. Now I think she's sorry what she's done.
She ought to be.
Well, she come back to town with her little head hung down.
Aww.
Now I think she's sorry what she's done. And the girl I love don't pay me no mind. The girl I love don't pay me no mind. Well, sweetheart divine, put your little hand in mine. The girl I love don't pay me no mind. Well, sweetheart divine, put your little hand in mine. The girl I love don't pay me no mind.
That's great. It's Bryan McDowell there on the banjo, and Mark Schatz is ham boning and foot stomping and some commentary as well.
General cutting up.
Yes, an old Arthur Smith tune, maybe originally. It sure reminds me of John Hartford. I can't remember if he had done it or not, but perhaps. I know Mark was on one fine John Hartford album or two back in the day. Yeah, the Good Old Boys album. Yep, for sure.
That was an incredible opportunity for me.
Yeah.
Be out with him off and on for about a year.
Uh-huh.
Very formative, and I learned a lot about stagecraft and just this guy was always coming up with some new idea, and let's try this and let's try that. Very creative.
Yeah.
And a very generous musician, and it was great. It was most of the time I was with him. It was with Bob Carlin, not Bob Carlin. It was Mike Compton.
Okay.
And guitar player Chris Sharp.
Oh yeah.
And it was a mean little quartet. And John did his thing, and we just joined in.
Remember what year that was?
I think it was it must have been after I got done playing with Tim O'Brien, which was around 1998.
Yeah.
The early 2000s, I was with Mark Schatz and friends, and then started up with Nickel Creek in 2003.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. Keeping my style together. So it must have been, 2001, 2, around in there somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I thought
Thank
so.
you.
Yeah.
Like we could look at when that CD came out, and that would tell me.
Right. I was thinking, was it as late as 2009? But no, I don't think so. I think Hartford passed away between
I don't
2001
think
and
it was
2009.
that
So
late. I
probably
think it was-
about 2001 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe I have 2009 on my brain because of Mr. McDowell here. What a year that was. He is known for, among other things, for winning all these awards. You kind of swept the National Flat-Picking Guitar Championships. That was a triple threat, a triple winner for what was it? Guitar, banjo, and
Guitar, mandolin.
and mandolin and banjo.
Guitar, mandolin, and fiddle.
And fiddle, okay,
Right, yeah.
at 2009 at Walnut Valley. But
That's it, yeah.
but then you won in some of those other instruments for a total of like 10 awards that year. Merle Fest, Georgia State, you did another 3
Yeah,
sweep.
that was another kind of guitar, mandolin, fiddle thing. I can't remember if I competed in clawhammer banjo back then. I didn't really play very much clawhammer banjo until I came on the road with you, Mark, and
Is that
kind of
true?
learned some
Oh my
techniques. from
God,
you.
your clawhammer banjo playing is exquisite.
It is.
Especially that fretless stuff that was just featured in that last
Yeah.
number for you folks out in radio land. Fretless banjo, no frets, and I've never heard anybody play it so in tune. And of course, weaving it in and out of his vocal the way he does, it's I give that over to Bryan.
It's no easy feat, is it?
No.
Yeah.
Very kind, Mark.
And speaking of legends, we're talking about like John Hartford. I'm glad you mentioned Arvil Freeman earlier, Bryan, as you have now picked up your fiddle to play for, I guess, our final number here. But yeah, Arvil Freeman, who passed away outside of Asheville a year or so ago.
About a year and a half ago, it was October.
Carol Rifkin here at WNCW talks a lot about him and such, of just the countless number of people that he taught.
So I mean, the whole scene here would be different, at least in the fiddle playing realm, if it wasn't for Arvil.
Yep.
It's he touched so many people's lives and was in the Mark Pruitt band back in the 80s. I mean, there's probably thousands of people who heard him come through. People who were coming through Bill Stanley's barbecue when that was a popular spot there, and he played with the Stony Creek Boys on Shindig on the Green for years and years in the Mountain Dance and Folk Festival, and we were so lucky to have him. I was so lucky to be able to sit with him every week, my sister and I, Emma, and learn hundreds of fiddle tunes. He's kind of a guy. There were a couple guys like that around here, particularly him and Roger Howell, who just it didn't matter what tune you played, they knew it.
Yeah.
And I stopped learning tunes from him at about, I think the last one was number 212, and that was not by any means the end of his repertoire, and his style was so great. So yeah, Arvil.
Yeah. Arvil Freeman's who we're talking about. It's nice to have you here, Brian, to representing someone who grew up in the Asheville area, learning this great music. I won't say just Asheville area, like Western North Carolina, because it draws from all the different watersheds, all these different teachers and all, of learning these tunes from back in the day of your heyday of '09 and the years surrounding that, of when you were growing up here and winning all these awards and carrying it forward with all the folks that you both are commingling with now these days, all the folks you'll help teach at the Bela Fleck camp in mid-August. How's your sister, Emma?
She's doing
the
well.
family?
She's living up. That was actually kind of part of the move going up to Baltimore. Is she's been in Pennsylvania for about the last 5 or 6 years. So, she's now we're only about an hour and a half apart. We can kind of go for bike rides on the weekend, and that's kind of a nice thing. Yeah, I should mention, you were talking about the repertoire. That first song that we did today, Italy, was something that I learned from Laura Businger, playing with her at the Mountain Dance and Folk Festival. And it's an old Bascom Lamar Lunsford tune. So, yeah, you got to dig things up from around this area and kind of present it to the world.
Yeah.
So we're trying to do that.
Yeah. It's Bryan McDowell talking. He and Mark Schatz are here, about to wrap up this little session. We should mention a lot of the music you're playing and the names we're talking about. They're featured here on Sunday afternoons with our show This Old Porch from 3 until 6. These two guys are playing at 185 King Street in Brevard tomorrow night,